Hello, guys. Welcome. All right, sorry, guys. No, hey, guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. Real, real talk Mondays on a Tuesday. So today we're going to talk about the power of leverage and what it's done for me, what it's done for my business, what it's done for my life, and what I've realized over the past 5 years on how to complement my business. And this is gonna be a really short topic, but there's no one that watches this video that couldn't benefit from this. There's no one that'll watch this that probably can't relate for it. There's anyone that's watching this that's in business, that's been a part of business, or they have a business, this will relate. And I'm going to teach you guys what I've learned as far as the power of leverage, what it's done to me. I'll go into a couple different, we'll talk about the power of leverage when you're talking about people. We're going to talk about the power of leverage with money, right? And then the power of leverage when it comes to activity, right? So, and what do I mean? What's up, HG? What up, Andrew? What is up? But hey, listen, Gabe, you are a business. Every single person is a business. You guys can take this. If you're a housewife, you can take this. If you're a husband, you can take this. No matter what, we're going to talk about the power of leverage and the do's and don'ts when it comes to leveraging. So, for those of you guys that don't know me, I've been in real estate now for a little over 3 years, just shy of $100 million. 400 plus families helped in that time frame, and I would not and could not have been able to do that by myself, right? And that's what we're going to talk about today, is how to scale what you're doing and how to leverage so that you guys hey, listen, brother, you got kids, you are a business, you know what I mean? My buddy Gabe said he's not in a business, and I'm like, look, dude, you a pops now, so there's leverage there, you know what I mean? But I'm going to scale this down to the simplest of form. As a parent, where can you guys go out and find leverage? I'm not a parent, right? But as a parent, where can you go out and find leverage, and what can you do to make your life easier, right? So I'll give you an example. Leverage is using something to help you advance, right? Whether it's people, money, whatever it is. Actually, I'm going to look up the definition of leverage. To use something to maximize advantage. To use something to maximum advantage. The organization needs to leverage its key resources, right? So to use something to maximize your advantage. So as a parent, like I'm only talking about this just because I had the situation. I had a buddy of mine come over with his 2 kids. We wanted to hang out and just talk grown stuff. And he has a toddler, or I mean, he's got an infant, 8 months old. So whatever that is, once you're 8 months old, at that age, he had a baby that needed to be preoccupied. So what did he do, man? He went out and put him in this little bouncy thing that hangs from, the ceiling, and that little baby bounced for 2 hours and was content. And so he used the power of leverage so that he could go out and spend time with his friends and break free. So, but I'm going to talk about the power of leverage when it comes to your business. So I'm going to walk you guys through. I'm a really, really, really good listing specialist, and what that means is when it comes to selling real estate, I'm really, really good on the listing side. So I'm great at marketing. I'm great at communication when it comes to that, but I'm not a patient person. So when it comes to buying or selling real estate, I am really good at getting a property sold. I'm not really good at being patient and looking at 50 houses, right? And so I'm going to tell you guys my transactions, and I'll be just completely honest. Like my first year of business, my first few deals were all buyers, and the rest of them pretty much for the entire rest of the year was sellers, right? And that was me as an independent. So I worked with very, very, very little amount of buyers. And my first year in the business, it was 80% of my deals were listings, 20% of buyers. So the goal was to get closer to 50-50. I like to hang a little bit heavier on the listing side. So let's just say 60-40, right? Is the goal. Maybe 55-45. But 80% of my business was sellers. Well, when sellers sell, what happens? They end up buying somewhere else. I literally would lose my clients to other agents because I didn't have the time to go out and show them a bunch of houses, right? And so only 20% of my total business. Just imagine if I could have added someone to the team, and at that point in time that was good with buyers, my business would have been where it was last year, right? And so the following year, I started realizing, hey, I'm losing business. And I got our business ratio to about 70-30. Still 70 on the listing and 30 on the buy. Sorry, I'm getting notifications. Which means I've lost about 10 to 15%. Some would say even 20% of the buyers. So I lost that business. And so what did I do? So, last year we were closer to 60-40, right? Which is okay. Like I said, ideally we'd like to be 55-45. But last year we were able to do that. What did I do in the meantime? I leveraged people. And what I mean by that is I found people that were really good at what I was really weak at, right? So I found people that were better at my weaknesses, and I leveraged that. So I'll give you an example. When it comes to doing anything, so let's just say that whenever we're working, we're worth X amount of dollars per hour. Let's just say that we are worth $20 per hour because that's simple math. So if what I do earns me $20 per hour, and I go out and I start doing paperwork, or I start going out and cleaning my office, or I go out and start doing any job that's not worth $20 an hour, well, I'm losing money. Because now if I focus all my attention and effort to whatever I'm doing for $20 an hour or $30 an hour or $40 an hour, let's just say my dollar per hour is $40 per hour, right? And I'm making this extreme so everybody can understand. But let's say that my value per hour is $40 per hour, but now I'm doing, janitorial things, like I'm cleaning up the bathroom and doing everything like that, which may be $15 an hour. So $15 an hour. Well, now I'm losing $25 per every hour that I'm spending not doing what I'm doing, making it $40 an hour. So I leverage what I wasn't good at so that I could go out and advance what I am good at. So now, my goal and my focus is on strictly growing the business. And I went from a single person in the business and started a team, and I started a brokerage, and now I've started a brokerage that has a team within it. So now I've got administrative staff. I have, what's going on, Mike, buddy? Kyle Homan's on the video too. But we've got administrative staff. I am the worst when it comes to the administrative side of the business. So I leverage that out to people that are really good, right? So you need to focus on what are your weaknesses, what consumes most of your time that is preventing you from doing what you're good at, right? And I tell my agents all the time, if you have I'll give you, here's a really good example. 2016, 2017, I started working with a builder who didn't want to pay anything, super cheap, and didn't want to pay for anything, right? But he wanted all this activity, wanted all these sales, but couldn't get him to finish a project, and so we spent all this time because we thought that there's this huge upside. Well, we spent all this time and got nothing out of it. We got probably 2, 3, maybe 4 contracts out of it, in 6 months. Had we spent that same amount of time and lead generation, prospecting, doing what we normally have done, we would have easily 5, 6, 7 times that. We probably could have gotten an extra 25 contracts in that time, maybe more. I mean, it's substantial. And so I look at it now and I'm like, okay, what can I do to advance what I'm doing? And so I've got some people that will help out on the buy side. I've got the administrative staff so that I can go out and make more executive decisions. I'll give you. I was watching a documentary on Jeff Bezos, and he was talking about how he only worked for 2 or 3 hours a day, but he prepped for those 2 to 3 hours a day, and those 2 to 3 hours a day were high level conversations, high level executive decisions that he did, but he delegated everything else out, and he leveraged people that were good at what they do, right? So if you are highly skilled, if you're starting a business and you're highly skilled at the admin side, but you're terrible at sales, you've got to leverage that out because your business is going to go flat, right? So if you're watching this and you're an introvert, you need to find you a super extroverted person to go out and be partners with, because without sales, it's nothing, right? So the simplest thing is to never do a task at whatever your worth is, and no one defines your worth but you, but don't ever do a task that you could be doing something more productive. I've got a buddy of mine who's got some rental properties, and he'll go out and do some repairs himself, and I'm like, hey, blank, I'm not going to name names. I was like, dude, if you focused that 2 hours that you went out and you went out and focused your time on 2 to 3 hours of your afternoon on your downtime, your precious downtime, and you focus on that, on fixing up these rentals, when you could have paid a punch list guy to go out and do it for $200 to $250. If you dedicated that whole amount of time into acquiring new business or building a new relationship, you may have gotten $2,500. Who knows? Maybe you would have met a high influencer that could have put you in front of a whole lot more people that could have equated to $25,000 worth of future earnings, right? So to simplify, if you're a $20 income earner, never do a $10 task, because you're costing yourself $10. So any point in time that you're working, you're doing anything, you have to realize that you delegate and you leverage other people's strengths. Like, man, if you've got somebody who loves to clean and they're good at cleaning and you suck at cleaning and it's not helping your business, don't do it. One of my mentors once told me, he said, I only do 2 things in life: things that make me money and things that make me happy. Thing that brings joy to my life and things to fund that. He said everything else I leverage out, I delegate. And so that's important if you ever want to get out of the scenario that you're in and grow something worthwhile and enjoy your time. It's important that you leverage where you can. I talk about that with people when it comes to money. Like, when I first got into real estate, I had zero money for advertising, right? And I just wanted to find out where my next deal was. Well, after leveraging tons and tons of activity, I told you there's 3 things that you can leverage: people, money, and activity. People, you find their strengths to suit your weaknesses. Money, whenever you go out and you've taken massive action for so long where you have deals coming through, you've built a reputation for your products and your services, well, then you can take the money that has come of a result from utilizing people and utilizing your activities to the fruits of your labor. Then you can use that money to pour gasoline on it. You know what I mean? What's a Shark Tank? Mr. Wonderful. Mr. Wonderful says, man, I want to use my cash to light a fire on something and make it explode, right? So, you can utilize that. So at that point in time, like, why do you think Coca-Cola is spending millions of dollars? Why do you think Bud Light's spending millions of dollars? Because they can. They're using that. They're leveraging their cash in order to go out and get more business, which is more valuable than that $1 million in advertising. That $1 million in advertising may be worth $5 million in revenue, right? Or $10 million in revenue. And you're not seeing the CEO of that company going out and putting the cans together, loading the truck, right? Not that he's not capable or not that, that's not worthy, but the great thing about when you start leveraging things is you create more opportunity for more people and you create more jobs, right? And that's where you really start to see everything come in full circle. So in my business, I started to leverage where I sucked at, which I wasn't patient, so I needed to find someone that could be patient and help me out and work with buyers that are really good. Man, I lucked out. I'm marrying my one of my top agents. And then, as far as paperwork and just overseeing everything and reading every line on the contract, we hire attorneys and we hire, we've got full-time administrative staff to make sure that we're buttoned down and we're solid with that. So I can go out and leverage skilled people, pay them well so that they can go out and make those executive decisions so we can run a business worth running. So guys, moral of the story, leverage everything that you can that doesn't make sense for you to do it. Get to the point to where you're doing only two things: what makes you money and what makes you happy, right? Money doesn't buy happiness, but whatever you're doing that makes you happy, it's got to be funded somehow. So learn how to leverage people. Then you leverage your activity. Your high levels of activity is going to go out and create opportunity for other people and for you to make good money. So you always leverage your activity to create opportunity. And then you're going to go out and find out where you're weak and where you're going to fill those gaps, right? You're going to get so busy where you're going to need more people. And that's where you leverage other people's strengths to help where you're weak at. And then once you have money coming in, then you can go out and make more hires. You can start using money for marketing dollars to where then you're snowballing your business into where you're changing it. My business used to be 100% for sale by owners, expireds, things of that nature. Well, now, our business comes from all over: radio, billboard, advertising, Google, Facebook, all kinds of different mediums that we're able to do because now we can leverage money to where we're at. So the moral of the story, guys, if you want to grow something worthwhile, you've got to learn to leverage and find people that are skilled that can help you grow along the way. Stay tuned next week, guys. Thanks for tuning in.